Hi guys, Pritchard here. Last week I presented to you a real good mob pack, but now it's time to kill big bosses. But I made a twist there. I need to make a character tanky and stay near 5 exalt budget as possible as I can. And the result is amazing. You can tank Sirus build in the early stages and the later phases. This build really good if you have a weaker PC or just want to learn the fight without failing. Now, how much damage we can deal and how much tanky we can be. Let's talk about the numbers. This is why are you here. According to POE building, we have 6.6 million damage per cast. Keep in mind this is without Flasks up. If we tick these boxes and the punishment curse, we get up to 8.8 million damage per cast. On the defensive side, without Flasks up, we have 14k armor, that's like 70% physical damage reduction. We have 22k evasion rating, 73% evade chance and almost 10k energy shield. Also, when we get hit by something, we get back 3% of our evasion rating as energy shield. That's like 600 energy shield and we can do this 3 times in a row. So we can get back 1.8k energy shield under a few milliseconds. That's why we're using the Keystone. I will tell you more details about this later in the video. Before we jump in the items and item prices, you need to know when I was making this video, the exalted ratio was 1 exalted to 140 C weapon. We use Void Battery Unique Wand for maximum power charge and extra spell damage. You can't find better than this wand. I got this for 20 C. Shield. With Priest Guardian, we can reserve our life and get extra auras in. Also this way we can be on low life all time. I got this for 20c. Eye of Malice Unique Helm with +1 maximum power charge corruption. Later in this video I will explain why it's so important this helm. I got this helm for 20c. Chevron's Wrappings Unique Body Armor. Do not die chaos damage while we are on low life. Also really good for extra energy shield. I got this for 70 chaos with 6 link. Also important note here. If you buy, do not buy with reduced global defensive modifier. Sense Entrapment Unique Gloves for 1c, a non-corrupted one, or 40c for corrupted one with +2 our skill against corruption. This is not so important to get. You lose like 60k damage and little bit armor, so that's up to you what you want. Syntrack Unique Boots for 5 to 15 chaos, depends on the role. Try to aim the better rolls for extra survivability. Presence of Chayula Unique Amulet. Now this is the tricky one. You could get one with the right anointment for 1x or buy yourself without it for 45c and then anoint this by yourself. This way you can cut down the price. Also, you need Fertile Catalyst for the extra convert effect increase. So the total price will be for 2 golden oil is 60 chaos and the Fertile Catalyst is 80 chaos and the amulet for 45 chaos for total 185 chaos. Is still cheaper than buy one with the right anointment and the maximum convert effect. The anointment is we using the Tranquility. Rings. This is the hard part, because the rings need to give us attributes to dexterity and strength. If you check the market with the same stat as mine, you maybe don't even find one with a reasonable price, but it's possible. I saw a ring with 30-70 dex and 25 strength for 70c, but you can make by yourself if you have a little knowledge to craft it. Though. Belt. We have two options. First, the easiest way is you can use Bated Breath Unique Belt. If you use this belt, you have to get 30 strength somewhere else, or use level 14 determination and you will lose survivability, and if you lose that much, I can guarantee it to tank the Awakener beam. The other options, you can buy a crystal belt with Crusader influence, and have to be at least level 82 to get the roll you want. Then you have to craft by yourself. Let's talk about a little bit about the Flasks. Granite Flask with increased armor during Flask effect. A Jade Flask with increased evasion rating during Flask effect. A Quicksilver Flask with increased movement speed. A Diamond Flask with increased critical strike chance during Flask effect. And an Enduring Eternal Mana Flask with Corrupted and Bleed immunity when used. The passive tree. We starting in the Witch area. We taking intelligence nodes, then taking Deep Wisdom, Arcane Will, Arcane Focus, then we pathing towards Melding and taking the Jewel sockets, and we using energy from within Cobalt Jewel here for extra energy shield, then we taking Pain Atonement for extra spell damage when we are on life, then we pathing towards Influence, and we taking Reservation Mastery, increase rifle levelization efficiency of skills. Then we taking Whisper of Doom for extra curse, and we pathing Written in Blood for extra energy shield and a little bit strange, and Energy Shield Mastery. Discipline has increased mana reservation efficiency. We taking the full crit wheel here with Doomcast and the critical mastery, free level to all critical support gems. We taking the Ghost Dance Keystone, and we taking Soul Thief and Evasion and Energy Shield Mastery. 1 energy shield per 8 evasion rating on boots. Then we taking Infused and Jewel sockets here for all Watchers with gain maximum mana as extra energy shield while affected by clarity. After that, we taking Utmost Intellect with Attributes Mastery plus 5 to intelligence per allocated mastery passive skill. We taking Doomsday Keystone, Skittering Runes for maximum doom, a Jewel socket with Corrupted Blood Jewel, Instability for extra power charge, the power charge wheel here with Charge Mastery, 3% increased damage per Endurance, Frenzy or Power Charge. Then we taking Unnatural Calm for extra energy shield, Energy Shield Mastery, gain 3% of maximum mana as extra energy shield. Then we taking the Corruption wheel here with Chaos Mastery with increased Wither effect. Then we taking the free Jewel socket node here with Militant Fate Timeless Jewel for our Inner Conviction. Then we pathing towards the crit node here, Arcane Potency, Critical Mastery, Critical Strike Multiplier against unique enemies. Then we taking the Reservation node here with Reservation Mastery, increase mana reservation efficiency of 4 skills. Then we taking Fate and Steel, Overcharge, a Jewel socket here, pathing towards Foresight and Leadership with Reservation Mastery. Aura from your skills have increased effect on you. Ascendancy, we using Occultist for Malediction. You can apply an additional curse. Forbidden Power for power charge generation after spending total of 200 mana. Void Beacon for negative chaos resistance, and Withering Presence. You can switch out the Withering Presence to Profane Bloom if you just mapping with this character. I switching Withering Presence when I fighting hard bosses like Maven or Awakener. Links: in our body armor, Hexblast, Void Manipulation, Power Charge on Critical Strike, Increased Critical Damage, Increased Critical Strike, and Awakened Added Chaos Damage. The Awakened Added Chaos Damage is very cheap in this league. You can get one with 10 KSR. In our shield, Zealotry, Grace, and Purity of Elements. Zealotry for extra spell damage and critical chance, Grace for extra evasion rating and more evasion rating, and Purity of Elements for extra elemental resistance and to immune to all elemental elements. Our gloves, Elemental Weakness, Assassin Mark with Anomalous Quality for extra damage taken, Determination for extra armor, and Punishment Curse. In our Unsettling Clarity, level 1, really important, you only use level 1. In our weapon, Stormbrand, Flame Dash for extra mobility, and Arcane Surge for a little bit extra mana regen and a little bit spell damage. In our boots, Defiance Banner for extra armor and evasion rating and reduce critical chance to nearby enemies, multiple totems, spell totem and wither totem. This is our wither setup for extra chaos damage. In our helmet, Discipline, summon Skitterbots and Frostbite. Discipline for extra energy shield, summon Skitterbots for extra shock effect and chill aura, Frostbite. This is our main curse with anomalous quality. Build main mechanics. Hexblast is an interesting spell. We deal chaos damage, but we need use elemental resistance reducing effects like elemental weakness and frostbite, because the skill gem says chaos damage with hits is resisted by rawest resistance instead. This is why we're using, for example, frostbite. The next one you need to understand the doom mechanic. What is doom? If the hex was self-casted, the curse will gain doom over time. Doom increases the effectiveness of the curse, 1% per doom. The doom is capped at 30 by default. Now we have our first bite curse, with increased maximum doom. And the maximum doom is 45 thanks to the anomalous quality and the skittering rules from the tree. The doom gain rate is 10 per second, so if you just using like that, you have to wait 4.5 seconds to reach maximum effect. But we don't have that much time in a boss fight. And here comes the third mechanic to the build, Doomsday Keystone. You can see yourself what it does, but long story short, you only have to wait 1 second to reach maximum doom with this Keystone. The next important mechanic is the Ghost Shroud Keystone. This is why we're using Grace and Syntrack boots. When we get hit by something, we lose a Ghost Shroud and recover 3% of our evasion rating as energy shield. Now, we have 22k evasion rating. If we take 3% of this, we can get back 600 energy shield and we can do that 2 times more. So we get back 1.8k energy shield fast. That's really good in mapping and when fighting against bosses. Also, if you don't use Grace, you can get more energy shield than your evasion rating. Now I have turned off the Grace, but when I turn on, you see I get the energy shield instantly back. Next thing, you can see when the Doomsday Keystone proc. You can use this as an indicator to know when use the Hexblast on the target. Now, without the Doomsday Keystone. Lastly, our Timeless Javelin position on the tree. We use Militant Fate Timeless Javelin for inner conviction. You can get this Keystone by using this Javelin. The important thing is need to be conquered by high Templar Dominus. You have to be careful when buying those Javelins, because it can be converted or important notables to useless ones. Like this, if I put here, you see, I'm using the maximum curse. So when you're buying one of these, you can put here or here and test out to which one is best for your build. Why we using Eye of Malice Helm? If you look at the tooltip, you will notice 2 things. First, 20% chance to inflict cold or fire explosion hit. The important one is the cold one. Next thing you noticed, nearby enemies have 50% increased fire and cold resistance. Why the earth we want that? Why we won't increase their resistance? The answer is simple math. Let's look at Sirus elemental resistance. According to Path of Exile wiki and Path of Building, Sirus has base 50% elemental resistance. Now, let's see how much resistance reducing effect we have. At level 20 elemental weakness have minus 45 and the frostbite have minus 44%. That's 89%. We add that to our curse effectiveness, that's 19 curse effectiveness. Now we have overall 169% negative resistance. But Sirus has 66 reduced curse effectiveness. So the final number is minus 57 resistance, and we also inflict cold exposure on top of that, so that's additional minus 10, so minus 67, and we also increase that, and to mathematic rules is minus plus plus is minus, so we get the final number to 100% negative resistance. So this is why we're using this helm. I hope you enjoyed this short guide for Hexblast. If you have any question, please leave in the comments below and we will meet again in the next video.